Welcome, seekers of wisdom. Today we delve into the ancient Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi. It's a term that resonates with the beauty of simplicity and the grace of imperfection, a concept that's been woven into the fabric of Japanese culture for centuries, yet remains elusive to many outside Japan. So what is wabi-sabi, and why should we take the time to understand it? Originating from the teachings of Zen Buddhism, wabi-sabi is an aesthetic and philosophical concept that embraces the imperfect, the incomplete, and the transient. The term itself is a combination of two words, wabi, which denotes a rustic simplicity, quietness, and understated elegance, and sabi, signifying the beauty or serenity that comes with age. In essence, wabi-sabi is a way of viewing the world that sees beauty in the ordinary, values simplicity, and appreciates the imperfections in life. It's about finding the extraordinary in the mundane and cherishing the natural cycle of growth and decay. Wabi-sabi carries significant cultural and historical weight in Japan. It's deeply embedded in every aspect of Japanese life, from architecture and design to tea ceremonies and art. This philosophy encourages mindfulness and the conscious acknowledgement of the fleeting nature of life, allowing us to appreciate the here and now. But wabi-sabi isn't just an aesthetic or a style. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, a way of perceiving the world around us. It teaches us to embrace the imperfect and find beauty in the transitory nature of all things. It's an antidote to our modern obsession with perfection, offering a refreshing perspective that cherishes the simple, the humble, the flawed. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with images of perfection and the pressure to live up to unrealistic expectations, the philosophy of wabi-sabi provides a soothing balm. It invites us to slow down, to appreciate the beauty in our everyday lives, and to accept things as they are, rather than as we wish them to be. As we journey further, let's immerse ourselves in the profound wisdom of wabi-sabi. At the heart of wabi-sabi lie three core principles: imperfection, transience, and beauty in the imperfect. The first principle, imperfection, illuminates the idea that nothing in life is ever perfect. It asks us to embrace the uneven, the rough, and the irregular. This principle is a reminder that the beauty of life lies in its imperfections. It's about finding the charm in the chipped mug, the frayed edges of an old book, or the weathered lines on a face. It is in these imperfections that wabi-sabi finds its most profound expressions. The second principle, transience, is about appreciating the fleeting nature of life. It's about understanding that nothing lasts, nothing is finished, and nothing is perfect. It's about finding beauty in the fleeting moments, like the rustle of autumn leaves or the melting of a snowflake. Transience reminds us that everything is in a state of constant change. It encourages us to live in the present, to appreciate the now, because it will never come again. The third principle is the beauty of the imperfect. It's about acknowledging that beauty doesn't lie in symmetry or perfection, but in asymmetry and irregularity. Where most cultures might discard a cracked pottery piece, wabi-sabi teaches us to mend it with gold, celebrating its history and making it even more beautiful. This principle teaches us to see beauty in the unconventional, the worn out, and the faded. These principles guide us to a more mindful and simple way of living. They ask us to slow down, to appreciate the simple things in life, and to find contentment in what we have. They teach us to let go of the societal pressures of having to be perfect, to have more, to do more. Instead, they cultivate in us a sense of peace, of living in the moment, of appreciating the beauty that lies in the ordinary and the everyday. By embracing imperfection, celebrating transience, and finding beauty in the imperfect, we learn to live a life that is not dictated by societal norms of perfection and success. We learn to live a life that is truly ours, a life that is authentically and beautifully imperfect. In the next scene, we will explore how these principles of wabi-sabi contribute to a longer, more content life. Stay tuned. Now you may wonder, how does wabi-sabi contribute to longevity? Let's delve into that, shall we? The concept of wabi-sabi inherently promotes acceptance and mindfulness, two elements that play a significant role in reducing stress. In the hustle and bustle of today's world, stress is a constant companion for many of us. It's an unwelcome guest that can take a toll on our mental and physical health, potentially shortening our lifespan. Now imagine a life where you embrace imperfections, where you find beauty in the transient and fleeting nature of existence. This is the heart of wabi-sabi. It's not about striving for perfection, but about appreciating the beauty in the imperfect and incomplete. This shift in mindset can be a potent antidote to stress, helping us to live a more relaxed and content life. When we adopt the Wabi-Sabi way of life, we learn to slow down, to appreciate the present moment, and to accept the natural cycle of growth and decay. This acceptance can lead to a profound sense of peace, freeing us from the constant pressure to achieve more, to be more. Instead of constantly pushing against the tide, we learn to flow with it. Furthermore, Wabi-Sabi encourages us to cultivate simplicity. It teaches us to find joy in the small, everyday moments and to let go of materialistic desires. This simplicity can lead to a reduction in stress and anxiety, contributing to a longer, more content life. This philosophy doesn't promise an elixir for eternal youth. Instead, it offers a path to a serene existence, a life lived fully and mindfully, appreciating the beauty of each passing moment. It's about growing old gracefully, with a sense of peace and contentment. So by embracing this ancient Japanese philosophy, we can potentially increase our longevity, not by adding more years to our life, but by adding more life to our years. It's about quality, not quantity. Embracing Wabi-Sabi, we find a path to a more serene and long-lived existence. So let's continue this journey of discovery, exploring more about how we can incorporate Wabi-Sabi into our everyday lives. Let's explore how you can incorporate Wabi-Sabi into your daily routine. Imagine your day starting with a hot cup of coffee, the mug slightly chipped, bearing the marks of countless mornings. This is the essence of Wabi-Sabi, finding beauty in the imperfections, appreciating the wear and tear as a testament to the passage of time. As you move through your day, instead of striving for perfection at every turn, try embracing the natural flow of life. Miss the bus? It's okay. The world isn't perfect, and neither are we. Wabi-Sabi teaches us to appreciate these unplanned moments, to find peace in the midst of chaos. Consider your home. Is it a pristine, picture-perfect model home? Or is it lived in, with worn-out couches and faded photographs? Wabi-Sabi encourages us to find joy in the latter, to appreciate our homes not despite their flaws, but because of them. Food, too, can be a celebration of Wabi-Sabi. A home-cooked meal, despite its irregularities and imperfections, carries a sense of warmth and authenticity that no perfectly plated five-star dish can replicate. It's about savoring the process, the love and effort that goes into the creation, rather than just the end result. At work, instead of stressing over every little mistake, we can practice Wabi-Sabi by acknowledging that errors are part of the process. They help us grow and improve. The same applies to our relationships. A friend's quirks, a partner's idiosyncrasies, these aren't flaws to be corrected but unique traits to be cherished. In the evening, as the day winds down, take a moment to reflect on the day. The ups, the downs, the perfect and the imperfect. Wabi-Sabi is not just about accepting imperfections, but celebrating them. Living the Wabi-Sabi way is about more than just aesthetics. It's an approach to life that cherishes the now, encourages mindfulness, and cultivates a sense of contentment with what is. As you can see, Wabi-Sabi can be a gentle guide in our everyday hustle and bustle. Scene script. Let's meet some inspirational individuals who've embraced Wabi-Sabi and lived beyond a century. First, there's Mieko Nagaoka from Japan. At an impressive 105 years old, she's the world's oldest competitive swimmer. But Mieko isn't just about breaking records. She's a firm believer in the beauty of the imperfect, often saying that her wrinkles are a testament to her long and fulfilling life. She attributes her longevity to her Wabi-Sabi lifestyle, which involves appreciating the simple joys of life and embracing every moment, whether good or bad. Next, we have Alexander Imich from Poland, who lived to be 111 years old. An accomplished scientist, he was also an artist who found beauty in the imperfections of his sculptures. Alexander credited his long life to his Wabi-Sabi approach, which allowed him to accept and even celebrate life's imperfections and transience. He once said that the key to a long life is to live in the moment and not dwell on the past or worry about the future. And then there's Emma Morano from Italy, who lived to be an astounding 117 years old. Emma lived a simple life, with a diet mainly consisting of eggs, which she believed contributed to her longevity. She lived by the Wabi-Sabi philosophy, finding joy in the simple, everyday things and accepting life's imperfections with grace. These individuals, living in different corners of the world, embraced the principles of Wabi-Sabi. They found beauty in the imperfect, appreciated the simple things, and accepted the transience of life. And in doing so, they didn't just live longer, they lived better, more fulfilling lives. These aren't isolated cases. There are countless others who've adopted the Wabi-Sabi way and have found not only longevity, but also a deeper sense of happiness and contentment in their lives. Their lives bear testament to the transformative power of Wabi Sabi. Inspired? Let's look at some practical steps to introduce Wabi Sabi into your life. As we've learned, Wabi Sabi is all about appreciating the beauty and imperfection and the natural cycle of growth and decay. But how do we begin to incorporate this philosophy into our everyday lives? First, we need to start shifting our perspective. Start seeing imperfections not as flaws, but as unique characteristics that make things more beautiful and interesting. Whether it's a chipped mug, a weather-worn bench, or the wrinkles on a loved one's face, these flaws tell a story. They are the marks of time, of use, of life. By appreciating these, we are acknowledging and accepting the natural flow of life. Next, we need to practice mindfulness. This means being fully present and engaged in whatever we're doing at the moment. Whether you're eating, reading, or simply taking a walk, focus on the here and now. Notice the textures, the flavors, the colors, the sounds. By doing this, we are not only appreciating the beauty of the present moment, but also reducing stress and anxiety, which can contribute to a longer and healthier life. Simplicity is also at the heart of Wabi Sabi. This doesn't mean you need to live a minimalist lifestyle, but rather to make intentional choices. Declutter your space, yes, but also your mind. Let go of negative thoughts, of unnecessary worries, of the constant need for control and perfection. Instead, focus on what truly matters. And finally, embrace nature. Spend time outdoors, observe the changing seasons, the cycle of life and death. Nature is the ultimate teacher of Wabi Sabi. It shows us the beauty of transience, the grace of aging, the peace of simplicity. Embarking on the Wabi Sabi path, you're set to discover a new way of living. A life that is less about material possessions and more about experiences. A life that appreciates the beauty in the flawed, the imperfect, the transient. A life that values simplicity, mindfulness, and the natural world. And ultimately, a life that is longer, healthier, and more fulfilling. Wabi Sabi also teaches us about our relationship with nature. It's not just about acknowledging the beauty in the worn and weathered, but also about embracing the natural world in all its raw, unfiltered glory. Wabi Sabi reveres the cycle of life, the changing seasons, the bloom and wilt of flowers, and the ebb and flow of the tides. This philosophy encourages us to forge a deep, meaningful connection with the environment and to live sustainably. In a world consumed by consumerism, Wabi Sabi nudges us towards a path of less waste, more recycling, and a greater respect for our natural resources. It's about acknowledging that we're part of a larger ecosystem and that our actions inevitably impact the world around us. By aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms of life, we not only reduce our environmental footprint, but also cultivate a sense of peace and well-being. This connection to nature doesn't just benefit the planet, it benefits us as individuals too. In harmony with nature, we find another key to longevity. Now let's turn to the social aspect of Wabi Sabi. At the heart of this philosophy lies a profound appreciation for genuine connections with others, a sense of compassion, and the practice of empathy. These elements help to create a deep, enriching bond with the world around us, nurturing our sense of belonging and contentment. Just as we learn to accept our own imperfections through Wabi Sabi, we are encouraged to extend the same understanding towards others. Recognize that each individual is perfectly imperfect, just as we are. This mutual understanding forms the foundation of meaningful relationships. In a world where digital interactions often overshadow face-to-face connections, Wabi Sabi reminds us of the importance of authentic human relationships. It teaches us to value the simple, the real, and the heartfelt. So take a moment to appreciate the people in your life. Embrace their imperfections, celebrate their uniqueness, and cultivate deep, meaningful connections. Strong, compassionate relationships, another cornerstone of the Wabi Sabi way. We've journeyed through the world of Wabi Sabi together. We've uncovered the beauty of imperfection, the grace of transience, and the serenity of simplicity. Remember, Wabi Sabi is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life that can lead to a longer, happier existence. By embracing the imperfections in ourselves and in the world around us, we can reduce stress, appreciate the present moment, and foster a deep connection with nature. We've seen how people who practice Wabi Sabi tend to live longer, more content lives. They find joy in simplicity, peace in imperfection, and beauty in the transient nature of life. But remember, Wabi Sabi isn't something you achieve overnight. It's a journey. So let's start small. Practice mindfulness, appreciate the present, and gradually integrate wabi-sabi into our everyday lives. May you find longevity and contentment on your wabi-sabi journey. For those eager to delve deeper into wabi-sabi, there's a wealth of knowledge out there. Start by reading Wabi-Sabi for Artists, Designers, Poets, and Amp Philosophers by Leonard Cohen. For a more scientific perspective, try The Blue Zones, Lessons for Living Longer, From the People Who've Lived the Longest, by Dan Buettner. Numerous articles and blogs online also provide further insight. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember to subscribe for more enlightening content. Until next time, stay mindful and embrace the beauty of imperfection.